we aren't just this version of ourselves because of random chance. We're actually the kind of conditioning and learned behaviors of many ancestors before us. And that, we can then look to our parents, for example, and we can objectively assess the job that we think that they did, whilst we have to make peace with the fact that regardless of how good or bad that was, they were doing the best with the tools that they had. And we're arriving at a time in our evolution as a species where people now today are finally really seeing that in a very profound way, that it's, oh, if I don't do some work on myself, then I will become my mom and dad, and I will continue repeating the cycle. And again, our parents might have done amazingly, but the goal here is evolution, not to stay the same or not to backslide, right? So we want to do a little bit better. And maybe if we weren't seen or loved or whatever, how can we do that for ourselves so we can give it to our children? But what the point you raised about what do you do then to provide that structure and that balance between masculine and feminine when the other is absent? So in the case of a single mom, or a father that lost the mother or something like that, how do you create that? Because it's very, very difficult. And this is why relationships, and in a sense this traditionalist view of the balance of energies, is very, very important to my mind. And I'm not saying traditionalist in the sense of like men and women only, because you can have a same-sex marriage and you can still have a good balance of masculine and feminine energy. And that's where it really starts, is that it starts at the level of the individual, but they have to know the limits. So like if it's the case of a single mother, then she has to connect with the part inside of her that is more masculine, whilst also holding that mothering feminine energy, and she must try to do that. But one thing I've said in the past, and sometimes I think it's a controversial statement, is that women alone can raise great people, but they can't raise great men. And that's because men need men, and that's not a slight on mothers. It couldn't be further from the truth, because the mother is the most divine position in the world, this seed of creation and of life and death. It's such an incredibly important role to hold. But it's hard for a woman to raise a man, because it's hard for her to be in that. So totally, much like it would be hard for a father to raise a woman. So that's why relationships so important. And if you're in a relationship where the partner is not present, then you're looking outside to potentially members of support or family or coaches that could potentially fill those roles. And there's an old saying that says it takes a village to raise a child, and that's what they were talking about. And the issue with maybe modern parenting is we've taken away a little bit of that village aspect, and we've kind of tried to do all things ourselves. And then you remove one person from that puzzle and you're asking one person to fill the roles of a tribe and a village. It's not realistic. And that's why a lot of children are not integrated, and they don't know that experience because they haven't had it. And it's a part of our job to try and make sure that we're conscious of these things. So if we don't have those tribes, we can find them, because they are out there and people want this. But it's just a matter of making the effort and initiating that, and being aware of it, because nothing changes without awareness, right?